preps to pros and everything in between. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. 8 minutes past hour number one here on this Wednesday edition of this show. This particular show that we are currently doing. Not tomorrow's show. This show. You know, as I was coming in today, it was pouring down rain. And then it wasn't pouring down rain. And I'm just like, boy, this is going to be a great week for Friday night football. So I have 2 ponchos in my bag. Listen, man. I'm trying to jinx the rain. It's going to rain.
You're jinxing us.
Oh, it's going to rain. Feel free. All I know is that I'm not ready. But it's almost like every year. This is the way it goes. So get ready. Be prepared for what may or may not come on Thursday and Friday if you're around us. JP, I got a question for you.
What you got, man?
What? Is your microphone on?
Yep. What you got?
How you just gonna ditch me tonight, man? This guy.
Got a lot of work to do.
Well,
You talk about not being ready.
this guy.
Yeah.
Well, if you see my shirt, for those of you watching on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, etc., I have on my Southern Brothers shirt, Adam Hood, Jason Eady.
Yeah.
It's a music shirt, and it's kind of what I do. Like, if I'm going to go to a concert, I'm going to wear a shirt that's music related.
Okay.
And so
You're going to dress the part.
I'm going to dress the part.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. That it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, a lot of people don't understand that. I feel like, get that, right?
About dressing the part?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta dress the part. But
I wear a Madras blazer on Easter and a seersucker suit on the 4th of July. Yeah.
there you go. Well, so today, I'm excited. JP is not wearing any kind of music garb
No,
because he
I am
is
not.
he is not going to the concert.
Yeah, I'm in work garb.
It's no good.
All work and no play this week.
Come to the Mule House tonight if you're in Columbia after our show. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, Writer's Night.
A writer's night.
Yeah.
And if you're a country music fan, you're going to hear some songs you've heard. Just not by the artists that you know. So, anyway.
But the versions of those that wrote them,
That's correct.
which
is
has a little more meaning.
sometimes it does. So
They're entertaining. A lot of storytelling in these types of settings. You get a little, like VH1 behind the music. You get kind of a front row seat for that.
Some insight.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm being told that we have dead air on KOM.
No, well, not according to me.
Well, and again, that is the situation in which we find ourselves.
We are feeding what we need to feed.
Okay then.
So,
Check us on social media.
So what you're saying is, if there's an issue, it's not on our end.
I'm not seeing an issue on our end. Doesn't mean there isn't one, but I don't see one at this point.
All right. Well, it is what it is. Let's get to some top stories real quick because some
There are some top
happening
stories.
news, breaking news off the top of the show. At least one game has been moved due to the inability
Field
to
conditions.
yeah, the inability to finish putting together the artificial turf, and it just makes me wonder how close they are over at Henry County. and if they are really going to play on dirt, as we were told.
Well, I would say they would play on dirt. I would say they would play on asphalt. I would say they play on broken glass in Paris.
They don't care.
This ball game.
Yeah.
They're not moving this ball game to
Catfish skeletons.
exactly. They're not moving this ball game to Summit.
No. And so
But
Ravenwood and Montgomery Bell Academy, however, have decided to, in fact, move their game that was scheduled to be played at Ravenwood to NBA because the artificial turf is not complete. It is also not complete at Fairview.
the only difference is Fairview wasn't scheduled to play at home this week, as we discussed with Charles Pulliam of the Williamson Herald yesterday. Fairview opens the season at Page in the Battle of 840. They play at home, or they are scheduled to play at home next weekend against Creekwood. And so Chris Hughes, according to the story on Main Street Preps from Tyler Palmatier, says that their drop-dead date for playing that game at home would be a week from today, the 25th. So they're hopeful of getting the turf completed at Fairview in time for that August 27th game. Meanwhile, the third Williamson County school that was supposed to get turf over the off season was Centennial, and they open 2 days from today at home against Overton. No word on the progress there, so we don't know. But
Joe made it seem like it was done, but
he
didn't
I think
see
he
it.
saw it from a distance.
Yeah, he didn't
I don't
see it.
think he saw it up on it, and unfortunately, we've not heard from Matt Kreisky or Greg Glass or Kevin Dyson or anybody over at Centennial, so we don't really know if that surface is ready to rock and roll Friday night. I'm sure we'll find out by tomorrow.
I don't know how that is installed. I do know how indoor football turf is installed, and it's with a zipper. Yeah. You install the zipper on the ground and then zip the turf to it. Unless you are me and you're in Montgomery at Garrett Coliseum and the zipper is shipped to Birmingham and the turf is shipped to Montgomery and you don't have a zipper and then you end up having to duct tape the field down. Yeah, that was fun.
That's a lot of duct tape.
We were outside tailgating, and they were like, "Hey guys, can you come here and help us put the field together?" And we were like, "I'm sorry, what?" And so they've got a forklift out there trying to push the turf under the walls, and every time the forklift would turn, the duct tape would rip.
Pulled away.
So
That's a lot of torque.
it didn't really work. Yeah. So anyway, I understand. It's
At least you tried.
At least you tried. Yeah, exactly. There was one, and I've lost the game that was you canceled for COVID.
Which one?
Goodness, the one that was just today. Was it? We just had it.
Local?
No, it wasn't local.
It was one down in Chattanooga, I believe.
Red Boiling.
Red Boiling Springs and
Red Boiling Springs has COVID. Therefore, they are not playing this week.
yeah.
Whoever they were supposed to play is now
They're
looking
not.
for a game.
Yeah.
So they're not playing them this week, and I can't remember who it was. I had it on Twitter, and I lost it, so I apologize.
Let's see if we can find it. Goodness gracious. Do you want to continue
Goodness
with
gracious, Great Balls of Fire. No, I don't think so. I think we need to I do want to mention that we have magazines now at the Murray County Library, Omegas, the Murray County Visitor Center, Schaefer's, Mount Pleasant City Hall, Pizza Place, Summertown High School, and Mount Pleasant High School. Tomorrow we will have additional places, and we will tell you about where those are after I put them there. Because I'm not going to tell you now, because I may not get to all of them, or make it to more than I plan to get to. You never know. Oh, there's also some at Honest Auto Care, Honest One Auto Care. And there is a strong thunderstorm that is set to impact portions of Lewis, northeastern Lawrence, southwestern Murray, northwestern Giles, and southeastern Hickman counties. That's really like, can't you just say all the counties? Whatever. It's supposed to happen through 5 o'clock. So
It's a big storm.
it's
in our listening area.
yeah,
Bottom line,
winds in excess of 40 miles an hour. So
be careful out there.
Be careful. That's the key. All right. Apparently, I went too long on the fun stuff. We need to get to the rundown.
This is the Rundown.
In volleyball action on Tuesday night, the University School of Nashville defeated host Columbia Academy 3-1. It was visiting Loretto down in Columbia Central 3-0, and Hampshire defeated Mount Pleasant 3-1.
In soccer action on the pitch, it was Giles County 9 blanking Zion Christian. Richland blanks Loretto 6-0. It was Murfreesboro Central 9, Lawrence County 0. Page edged Rockville 3-2, and Fairview down to Columbia Academy 8-1.
Major League Baseball, it was Atlanta 2, Miami 0. The Cubs defeated Cincinnati 2-1, and the Brewers defeated St. Louis 2-0.
Tonight's baseball action, the Braves are at the Marlins. That's at 6:10 on Valley Sports South or WKRM 103.7. You can listen there on our sister station. Red Sox are at the Yankees. That's on ESPN. Surprise, surprise. 6 o'clock first pitch. The Brewers travel south to the Cardinals at the 6:45 first pitch. That'll be on ESPN Plus. And in minor league baseball action, the Sounds are at Memphis again. That's a 7:10 start.
High school volleyball tonight, Nolensville travels to Summit. High school girls soccer, Stewart's Creek plays at Brentwood, and Lincoln County hosts Tullahoma. That game is at 6:30.
And there you have it, our Wednesday rundown on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today. We have a big show for you today, so stick around. In the next segment, we will talk to Nick Campbell, Columbia Central boys basketball coach. He's got a player playing in the CP3 Rising Stars camp or taking part in that. And we'll talk a little bit about how those basketball guys are playing football. Of course, we're going to talk Braves. As always, they get the Marlins tonight again. Couple of Braves history nuggets. Josh Kendall will help us talk about South Carolina. He covers the Gamecocks for The Athletic, and they've got some big news. So, interesting stuff we'll get to. You're going to want to hear about that. We'll talk NFL, and of course, it's Wild and Wacky Wednesday. So stick around on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back to the Lee Company studio right after this.
According to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So, 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Nielsen says more than 30 million Americans watch Newsmax. It's the 4th highest rated cable news channel, and it's available on all major cable systems. Or find it on smart TVs like Samsung, LG, and more. And it's free on Roku, Xumo, Pluto, Amazon Fire, and TiVo. Or download the Newsmax app on your smartphone. Watch it anytime, anywhere. Forbes described Newsmax as a news powerhouse. Millions of Americans are watching Newsmax. You should too. Tune in today.
Hi, I'm Robert Rogers at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
And I'm Michael Parks Lawrence at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
Together, we're Mr. Bobby Parks' grandsons, and we run his dealership, and we are glad to be part of our local community.
Being family owned and operated, we invest heavily in our community.
We do things like sports teams, schools, bands, you name it. We try to help everybody we can.
The reason why we do this is because we all love this community.
So come do business with us, your neighbors, at Parks Motor Sales in Columbia, Tennessee, right off Nashville Highway, or at parksmotorsales.com.
Are you thinking about a new fence? Maybe you need a pole barn. Then you should give Sands Fence Company a call. That's 931-309-1644. Will Sands has built his business based on the principles of honesty, quality, and integrity. Sands Fence Company has been in business for over 20 years, providing the community with farm, residential, and commercial fencing, as well as pole barns and buildings. Call today for a free estimate. Sands Fence Company, 931-309-1644. 931-309-1644.
Hi, I'm Steve, the garbage man. By now you all know about Don, our service truck guy. Well, let me tell you about another member of our service team, and that's Mike Ashley. He's the guy you'll talk to when you call the office. Just call and talk to Mike one time at 931-540-0919, and you'll see why we're lucky to have him here at the Garbage Man. Thanks, Mike, for all you do to keep the Garbage Man first in service. That's 931-540-0919.
Why do people trust Tillis Jewelry with their jewelry repairs?
Hi, this is Terry Tillis. We feel each piece of jewelry is important to our customers, and they deserve the utmost care with every item that is brought to us. Your jewelry is inspected when we receive it to determine exactly what repairs are needed. A photo is taken and documented, and then it goes to our goldsmith. Once the repair is completed, the jewelry is re-inspected to make sure it has been restored to its original condition.
Come see us at Tillis Jewelry, located in Columbia and Lewisburg.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter, like the stair that only creaks when everyone else in the house is asleep. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090 for all your home comfort needs. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Murray County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
For 40 years, Beck Dental Care has been the personalized and comfortable option for the health of your smile. The caring staff maintains a high level of safety protocols and attention to detail. Advanced technology provides your choice of sedation and the best of dental implant solutions to restore complete oral health. Open until 7 p.m. 2 nights a week. 931-388-8452. Beck Dental Care in Columbia, 1603 Rosewood Drive.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. 26 minutes past the hour. Little Vanderbilt football news here. Someone's number got changed from 69 to 96, and that person's mom tweeted, "My son's number got changed. I remember when he called me and told me his number was 69, and I wore it with pride. This is going to cost my husband. Going to have to replace a lot of fan gear." Braden Bapst's mother. That's interesting. How does that happen? Like, how do you, I mean, does the number matter? I mean, I know it does, but 69 and 96 is the same positions, right? Like, you can wear it if you're an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, right?
Can you wear it as an offensive lineman?
I don't know. Is it defensive linemen who wear 96?
I think it's defensive linemen.
Defensive linemen wear 96.
Okay.
Yeah. Although, you know, I don't know if the number changes. Those were NFL number changes, though.
Yeah, that took place.
Yeah.
And
the only thing that they did, the only thing they did in college was they legalized 0 last year. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah, but I think 96 is defensive linemen and tight ends. So I don't know what our boy plays. I guess he's a defensive lineman or tight end.
He is now.
Well,
yeah.
Well, he wouldn't have been a tight end wearing 69 to start with.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting. We don't know what position what's his name?
Braden Bapst.
You could play D-line at that number, though, too, right?
His dad.
You can play D-line.
In the 60s?
Yeah.
I think so.
His dad's Twitter handle is Vandy69_dad, so I guess that's got to change.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and get 96_dad.
They went all in on
and extort him.
They went all in on the number, right?
They really did. Like,
hey, it's good parents. Whatever, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Support your kid. I'm not mad at him.
Anyway, I just thought that was the first thing that popped up on my Twitter, and I thought, well, some Vandy football news here.
I got all excited.
What number?
It was nothing important.
It was nothing. Yeah.
What number was Nick Campbell? He was 93, right? What number were you, Nick?
93 in high school and in college.
In Dominican Sue?
Same build.
same attitude too, stepping on folks' heads and everything.
I never stepped on a face mask. Never. I might would have broke my foot.
And you needed that. You needed the foot. It was kind of your,
the
that
foot
your
was
meal
important.
Ticket.
Yeah,
that's your meal ticket.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it was. That was a problem. I had all you could eat meals 3 times a day.
Dude, I've been there. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's brutal. They feed you, man.
Oh, good Lord. Not in Cookville, though.
If they feed you that bread from, where was it? Spanky's. Yeah, if you're eating that.
Oh, goodness. Oof. Nick Campbell, boys basketball coach at Columbia Central and former Lawco and Tennessee Tech punter, joining us here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports.
Dude's
today.
never worn anything but purple and gold his whole life.
Never.
He wouldn't have to change any of his gear if if something were to happen.
Well, he might have to change numbers. I don't know, but Nick, we called you because we wanted to talk to you on a couple of fronts. One of your kids is heading over to Greensboro, North Carolina this weekend to take part in the CP3 Rising Stars Camp, sophomore Jordan Davis. And I would imagine you got to be pretty excited about that as basketball coach.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't really know a whole lot about, how many kids were invited, but I was looking at their website when he received the invite, and it says the top 30 players in the country. So it's not by class or anything. There's just 30 kids that get invited. I don't know if that's by state or if that's just 30 total. But Chris Paul will be overseeing everything that they do this weekend. So that is pretty exciting. He's going to have an NBA player there that's going to be watching him and, get to teach him his craft per se. Other NBA players that are going to be there, college coaches are going to be there recruiting. So I think it's a great opportunity for Jordan to display his skills at a very high level. Anytime you get invited to some kind of invitational, invite-only deal, that's pretty special.
Also, participating in that camp will be Columbia Academy sophomore Griffin Cooper. So, couple of kids from Columbia drawing some attention at the national level, I guess.
Yes. Anytime, like I said, anytime you can get invited to something like that. I know there's a couple kids from Webb that are going as well over in Bell Buckle.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you can gain, that interest, you must be doing something right on the AAU level and the high school level, especially at that age. I'm assuming CA kid is going into his sophomore year
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting because it just goes to show the level of talent that's in Middle Tennessee, but in our specific area and young talent. These kids are babies, and yet you look at Griffin and Jordan on a basketball court and you think, God, they're just 15, 16 years old. How does that make you feel as a coach saying, I got this kid for 3 more years?
I want to hug him every day that I walk into school, but he doesn't think that's very cool. But yeah,
it's not very cash money. It's not very cash money of you, Soup.
Right. Yeah, that's right. But whatever that means. But,
exactly.
He has put, as he told me 2 days ago, he has put a lot more moves into his bag that he will be displaying this year. So he's improved tremendously since his freshman year, and I was telling somebody yesterday that he scored over 300 points as a freshman at the AAA level, which is pretty impressive.
Now,
so I've been fortunate.
Here's what's impressive. He scored more than 300 points as a freshman and did not start a single game.
That he did start 2 games because of COVID-related issues, but he came off the bench every game besides 2. But sorry, I didn't mean to throw that out there. But
correct me.
He will be in the starting lineup this year.
Somehow I figured he would. I was just trying to figure how he wasn't last year. But
but he embraced his role last year, and he was very good with it. You know, he scored over 300, and I look for him to have a very good sophomore year as well. You know, we've got a good upper class group that has helped him out a lot as far as maturity. So I'm looking forward to this year, not just because of Jordan, but you know, we have a lot of kids coming back from last year's team.
So tell me this, speaking with Nick Campbell's Columbia Central boys basketball coach, is he going to play Friday night and then go Saturday, or because you've got 3 or 4 kids on your basketball team who play football.
Well, actually 5.
Well, yeah, five basketball players who are playing football. So, you know, that's kind of a unique situation that you guys have at Columbia Central, where you have some multi-sport guys playing both of those, football and basketball.
Well, I'm not sure if Jordan is going to go on before the game on Friday or what his plans are. You know, I'll leave that up to him. But I think actually I have more than 5. This is the first year that I've had multiple guys playing. My first year, the only person that played multiple sports was Dontavius Brown. But I think it's great that they're playing. You know, I played basketball and football in high school too, so I'm all for those guys playing football. I think it will help us on the basketball court. But if I started naming all of them, I think I would miss some. But I'm going to try to name all of them that are playing. Q Martin, obviously, Bubba Perkins, Quan Reynolds, Jace Hoth, Max Patton. A couple freshmen would be Dravius Hall, KJ Frierson, Corbin Williams. I'm sure I've missed a couple, but I know there are a lot more than that play as well. So we've got about almost 10 total in the program that are playing football as well.
Nick, you said Dravius Hall?
Yes, he is playing basketball as well.
I bet you're not excited about that at all.
Yeah. You know, honestly, when he came, you know, we heard that he may not be coming here, maybe going to a private school, but when he came, that's another kid that I wanted to hug. Yeah, because I've watched him for 3 years now at the middle school level playing basketball, and you know he may get some minutes this year as a freshman for us because he's about 6'3", 240 pounds. Him and a couple other freshmen are the biggest kids on the team as incoming freshmen. So,
now, do you just sit him under the rim on defense in the middle of that 2-3 zone and just tell him anybody that comes in here, you just pretend it's football for a second?
Yeah, just you know, whatever he wants to do down there. But
you got 5 fouls. Use them.
Use them.
Got 5, and let's use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, but I am excited about having him and having some size this year. You know, the last few years we've been kind of small, but this year, you know, probably going to be the biggest team that we've had since I've been here. So that'll be an adjustment. We will still play off fast, so I hope nobody thinks I'm going to slow the ball down too much.
With Jordan on one wing and Q on the other, or bringing it up, I don't think you could slow it down even if you wanted to.
Yeah. You know, Amari Franklin has worked really hard this offseason along with Ronnie Bailey, who are both, you know, basketball only and track. They both run track too. So I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, their hard work pay off as well, along with Bubba Perkins, who's continued to grow. He's about 6'5" right now. So he's also out there on the football field as well.
There you go. Nick Campbell, Columbia Central boys basketball coach, getting ready to send off sophomore Jordan Davis to CP3's Rising Stars camp. And boy, you know, that's a really cool thing, and I really hope that he understands the impact that this is going to have on him and as probably his teammates and younger kids coming up who can now say, you know, if I'm in Columbia, they can find me. That's got to be encouraging for you as a coach to know that, you know, you can tell those young kids, hey, just because you play at Columbia doesn't mean that they won't find you.
Right. You know, and he can be that first guy who gets a big major college offer from here that we haven't had from basketball in quite a time. I can't remember the last time we've had a big time D1 player that came through Columbia Central. Maybe I know there's a few that have went and played, like Clay Kennedy's over playing at Lee, but everybody remembers Columbia from the early 90s, mid-90s, that had people going to MTSU and Vanderbilt and players like that all the time. But he's still got to work. He's still got to put the effort in. But, you know, he has done that. And still up until this point, and it's starting to show, and he's getting some recognition for that. And it can only help our team and our program and our community. So he is humble for the experience, but he's ready to go out there and show those guys what he can do up against the best players in his class and maybe the freshman and sophomore junior class as well.
So with all these players playing football, you just going to take it easy in the month of November? Just chill out?
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We just had open gym today too, so we're still working. The people that are not playing basketball, we're not taking any time off or taking this time for granted. We're trying to get everybody else better because I know playing football is helping those guys. So we're moving into a new district. We're not wasting any time. We know we got to continue to get better every day.
Well, keep doing what you're doing, Coach. We appreciate you taking some time with us today here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Nick Campbell, Columbia Central boys basketball coach, as always, a pleasure, and we will talk to you very, very soon.
Absolutely. Hey, I can't wait for the Braves to figure out.
Yeah, we can't either. We like when they figure stuff out.
Well, I think they've started to figure some things out.
We'll see if it holds.
For now,
when they play, teams that aren't 17 games under 500.
Hey, all you can do is play the people they put in front of you, man. Braden Baps is an offensive lineman.
Well, good. So and I'll tell you, I got some correspondence here from Coach Mike Lyle. 80 and above allows him to play a position that can receive a forward pass without announcement to the referee. Defense has no number restrictions. That was the question that we really were looking for was, can he play defensive or offensive or whatever? Mm-hmm. That was really the question that we were concerned with. So no number restrictions on the defensive side. There you go.
So Nick Campbell could have played anywhere.
Anywhere.
But he was just a punter.
Well, I don't know that he could have played anywhere.
Numerically speaking, he could have played anywhere.
Oh, man.
We shouldn't do that to Nick when he can't defend himself.
Can't defend himself at all. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Braves. They get the Marlins again tonight, so we'll talk about it when we come back right after this. Stick around.
One-stop shopping. That's why so many people shop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat of Columbia. As the #1 volume CDJR dealer in Tennessee, we offer the largest selection of new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. And when you have the largest selection of new, you have the largest selection of used, too. Combine that with state-of-the-art, fast, accurate service, and you've got Tennessee's #1 volume dealer. Shop online at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Columbia.net. Middle Tennessee's Ram Truck and Jeep headquarters. You can count on us. Based on combined retail and fleet sales as reported by Chrysler in the state of Tennessee in 2019.
Hello, I'm Barbara Lincoln with Hollins Pharmacy. You may have heard our previous commercials about compression hosiery that we carry at Hollins Pharmacy. Well, we've recently expanded into a full line of knee braces, back, wrist, ankle, and other support wear. We will gladly help you get just the right fit for these items and, of course, special order items to ensure the proper fit. Come see us at Hollins Pharmacy, 1608 Hatcher Lane, or call us at 931-388-4233. 388-4233.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a small drink or fries or snack shake. And for the low, low price of another $1, you can round out this afternoon snack with warm cookies. It's really a meal at this point, but call it a snack. That way, you can come back for dinner. Arby's, we have the meats.
Dollar price valid for small fries and drinks, snack shakes, and classic sliders. Available at participating locations for a limited time.
Hey folks, this is Chandler Anderson from the Right Care Clinic located in front of Walmart. We've been open 11 years there now, and 11 seems to be our magic number. We open at 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and we're open 7 days a week to make sure that you get the right care you need. Come on by and see Caitlin, Kim, and Robert, and they'll get you the right care. Remember, we were there for you during COVID. We never shut our doors. Right Care Walk-In Clinic located in front of Walmart, open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week. Remember, folks, we stay late so you don't wait.
Serving Murray County for 40 years, the Jewelers Bench has provided the highest quality jewelry at the very best prices. They work hard to make their customers happy, and it's paid off. Their customers keep going back. Quality jewelry, custom vintage and estate pieces, and professional jewelry and watch repairs. We offer jewelry loans up to $4,500, and we will buy your gold. The Jewelers Bench, still here, still the same. 808 Trotwood Avenue, Columbia.
Terrence here at Shepherd Lumberyard, where we value you, the customer. We've been serving Columbia and surrounding areas since 1946. We're located in our new location at 103 Cemetery Avenue. Anything that has to do with building or remodeling, we're here to assist. When you shop local, you help shape the community. We are locally owned, family owned, and veteran owned. And by the way, God is in charge. You can reach us at 931-388-3612, and our website is shepherdlumberyard@yahoo.com.
Hey, this is Derek Ransom of 10 Pin Alley, voted #1 family entertainment center in Murray County. We offer 32 bowling lanes, giant arcade, laser tag, bumper cars, and a full cafe and bar menu. We also specialize in group events, kids and adult birthday parties, company parties, sports team parties, and holiday parties. We're located at 322 East James Campbell Boulevard in Columbia. Call us today at 931-381-BOWL or visit us at 10pin.com. 10 Pin Alley, it's where the good times roll.
At CSH, we know the sport of football builds discipline, character, and work ethic, 3 common characteristics of winners. It's a sport where we drowns out me. Leadership is nurtured, and that's why CSH supports all Murray County football teams, and want to say a special thanks and good luck to every player, coach, volunteer, and parent of this year's teams, from youth programs, middle schools, and high schools. We know football builds men that make a difference. Let's go.
When the Braves play, Chris and Mo are talking about it.
Yeah, that's trash can juice.
Speak for yourself.
For better or worse, on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Back to the Lee Company studio. Yep, they're fans too. Here's Chris and Mo.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joints. Just got a text from Justin Lamb, who was just given a tutorial on his job duties for tomorrow, Friday night, as he and Chad Kirby will be in the booth for the Summit Spartans at Henry County. So if you're not listening to any other game on Friday night, listen to this station right here, 101.7 WKOM, because that will be worth every bit of the price of admission.
Chad Kirby's going to have a mic in front of him.
I hope there's...
Is there going to be a 7-second delay on that?
Button.
You mentioned the price of admission, which is nothing, by the way. It costs you nothing to listen. So
you're right. You don't have to
just
pay
FYI.
You don't have to pay it down. Which again is still that is kind of making my point.
Trying to help you out there.
Getting what you pay for.
He said to pray for him, so we're gonna pray for him. All right, y'all. Put him on your prayer list tonight at church at 7:00 if you're going. Anyway, This segment is brought to you by Columbia Academy, so we'll tell you about them.
This segment's brought to you by Columbia Academy. They're scheduling appointments for visits. You can find them online at cabulldogs.org. They have campuses in Columbia and in Spring Hill, so be sure and check them out. Again, that's cabulldogs.org, Columbia Academy.
And we are talking a little Braves, but as during the break, scrolling Twitter as I want to do, Teresa Walker quote tweets Matt Dirda Music, who asked, "Can you name a great song that is also about murder?" And I'm like, boy, I could give you a top 5 there. I'm a country fan. Like half my favorite songs are about murder. I mean, like, I don't really know what to tell you. But she said Goodbye Earl by the Chicks. And I said, that was a good one. She said, well, of course it is. Why? Because Earl had to die.
Guess Folsom Prison Blues is the first one that comes to mind for me, maybe. Shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's towards the top. That's a good Mo.
I think I named 3 just off the top of my head, and that was Not the Lights Went Out in Georgia. The Thunder Rolls, that you don't know is a murder ballad unless you know the third verse, where she shoots her cheating husband. And then, of course, The Cold Hard Facts of Life by one Porter Wagner, where he comes home and finds his wife in their apartment with another man, and he knifes them to death.
Oh, that's up close and personal.
He said, I'll probably go to you-know-where, or I'll rot here in this cell. But who taught who the cold, hard facts of life? I was like, you know what? Come on.
All right.
So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, murder ballads. They're good. Big fan. Big fan of murder ballads. Let's talk about the Atlanta Braves. Your boy Justin says...
Speaking of murder ballads, or we were ready to about 10 days ago anyway.
Will Smith shouldn't be the closer, Justin Lamb says. Well, we agree.
You know what, though?
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. As hard as we've been on Will Smith, you got to give credit where credit's due. Last night, he looked like a closer.
I'm just okay. Blind squirrels and nuts and all.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many. How many bat? He faced 3 batters. I mean, he retired the Marlins in order last night, protecting a 2-0 lead. Struck out 2 of them.
So did Luke Jackson, but he did his patented walk double play. He threw 9 pitches, 5 strikes, which means he threw 4 balls, and all of them were to the leadoff hitter, and then he got him on the double play.
The bullpen faced 3, 6, 9, 12 hitters.
What I tell you last night. That's what a line ought to look like.
3 2/3 innings of scoreless. Allowed 1 hit. Matt gave up 1 hit in his 2/3 of innings to finish off the 6th. So, I mean, Atlanta beats Miami 2-0. Huascar Ynoa, 3-hit ball over 5 1/3 innings. Just missed out on a quality start. No hitter. Shutout work. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts.
Coming
Love to
back,
see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, coming back off of rehab, that's the perfect way to start.
Oh, and he was 1 for 2, raising his batting
The average
to
went up.
368. Yeah,
the average went up. Look, all I'm saying is, if at some point, I don't know if he qualifies, because I don't know how many at bats you have to qualify, but he and Max Fried have got to be in the running for the Silver Slugger, right?
You would think.
I mean, they're probably battling one another.
And I'll tell you what, there will come a situation where the Braves are contemplating taking a starter out, and if it's one of those 2 guys, you don't pinch hit for him.
You don't have to pinch hit for them. That's right. You can take them out.
You can let them hit and take them out.
And take them out if you want to.
Yeah. So Braves 2-0 last night, improved to 64 and 56 going into today's 6 p.m. ball game against the Marlins, who are 51 and 69. 6:10 start, 4:55 on WKRM 103.7 FM.
Which is in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Charlie Morton, 11-4 with a 3.49 ERA, takes the bump for the Braves. Jesus Luzardo, 4-5 with a 7.52, gets the ball for Miami.
This isn't going to go well.
You don't think?
For the Marlins? No, this isn't going to go well.
Well, I mean, and they wasted a great start last night, obviously. Sandy Alcantara. And I don't know where that A goes. Alcantara.
I will tell you
Alcantara.
I will tell you that my friends think that they're just butchering it on the air. The problem that I have with that
and
is,
I could see that being the case, given who's butchering it.
Well, but they hand you a sheet of paper that says, here's the pronunciation. So maybe I still think it's Alcantara.
I don't know how it's not Alcantara, but they persist in saying Alcantara.
Or Alcantara. One of the two, but it's not. There's an extra A in there.
There is. That isn't being pronounced. Yeah, it's not tra. But anyway, Jorge Soler with a 2-out single off of the aforementioned Miami Marlins starter in the 8th, drove in pinch hitter Abraham Almonte with the eventual winning run. Austin Riley added a solo shot in the 9th. And again,
surprise.
Yeah, go figure, huh? And again, the pen, 3 2/3, spotless.
Gotta love it.
You got to. So, going for the sweep tonight? Is that right?
Going for the sweep and the 13th out of 15.
Mm-hmm.
What did I tell you? What was it? In July, when I was telling you about, my dad would always say at some point in August they're going to win 14 or 15 in a row.
Well, here
or
it is.
14 out of 16. They always do, blah, blah, blah. Well, that was just what you expected in the 90s. That's what was going to happen. I didn't think this was going to happen, but I also didn't look at the August schedule. And that may be why it did happen in the 90s so often, is because maybe the Braves were playing.
They hit a schedule like this, yeah.
This is what happened. I don't know. But, yeah, 13 out of 15 if they win tonight. So it's –
well, they're going to need it.
Yes, I mean, after the Phillies lost again last night, putting the Braves ahead 2.5 games in the NL East, so that's big news for them. I mean, you've got to take advantage of this part of your schedule.
Exactly.
Because if you don't go to L.A. and San Francisco and have a very good time, I mean, it is what it is.
So they're off tomorrow. They got 3 against Baltimore in Atlanta, at Baltimore. Come home, get the Yankees for a 2-game set. Then they're off 2 days in a row. We talked about this once. Then they've got San Francisco coming in next weekend for 3. Go to L.A. for 3 against the Dodgers. Go to Colorado for 4. And then they come back home, and they've got Washington, Miami, and Colorado for 3 each. So, and that gets you into the middle of September. So they've still got a chance to do a little damage if they can just kind of hold serve against the Giants and the Dodgers maybe, but those will be their toughest matchups in some time when they get there.
No doubt. Let's talk about one of those 90s Braves teams. What do you say?
Let's do. This day in Braves history, August 18th, 1998, Greg Maddux notched his 200th career win as all 9 of the Braves hits went for doubles in an 8-4 win over visiting San Francisco. Maddux struck out 7, gave up 1 earned run in 6 innings, went on to finish his 23-year Hall of Fame career with a .355 and .227 record. And August 18th was a good day for Braves pitchers, both in Atlanta and in Milwaukee, because in 1960, Lou Burdett finished 1 hit by pitch short of a perfect game. No hitting Philadelphia 1-0 at Milwaukee County Stadium. Burdett retired the first 13 hitters he faced before hitting Tony Gonzalez, but got the old 5-3-6 double play.
I'm sorry, the what?
From Lee Walls to end the inning. Walls grounded out to third. Third baseman Eddie Matthews went across the diamond for the out there. The aforementioned Gonzalez tried to go first to third on an infield grounder and got gunned down at shortstop covering, Johnny Logan covering third. 5-3-6, just like you draw it up. Did not allow another base runner the rest of the way. Burdett doing his best Huascar Ynoa, foreshadowing, doubled to lead off the bottom of the 8th and scored on Bill Bruton's double for the only run of the game. So he throws a no-hitter.
And scored the only run.
And they want to get rid of, and they want to force the DH on us.
Shades of Shohei Ohtani.
There you go. Let's not talk about Shohei Ohtani, because if we do, we got to talk about Jack Morris, and I don't want to get into that. Yeah.
You know, JP, he's not thinking about it when he gives us these bonus.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we only have so many days in Braves history, and if we want to do this again next year, we're going to need those. So hold on.
All these bonus, yeah.
We'll just do them again. Yeah.
Sounds tonight are at Memphis. The poor Sounds, man. 3 hits last night.
In a 5-1 loss.
In a 5-1 loss. Aaron Ashby going for the Sounds tonight, so that's a positive. He's 5-4 with a 4.48 going against Rondon. It could be
Angel.
Is it Angel or Angel? That's why I was hesitant.
I'm here for you.
He's 5-4 with a 4.83. So these two are basically mirroring one another. Although much of Ashby's ERA came from that time he spent in the pen.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of give him a little bit of a pass. But they're at AutoZone Park tonight. 7-10. Sounds at Memphis. The Sounds have lost 11 of their last 13. They are the anti-Braves.
If that's what it takes. If we have to sacrifice the Sounds for the Braves to be successful,
I'm here for it.
There we go.
I will take that. That's going to do it for this segment. Hey, it looks like Knox Central, I think, is getting turf, and as I'm looking at these photos, it appears that it is a zipper method. So there you go. Now we know the rest of the story.
There we go.
When we come back on the other side of the top of the hour, it's Josh Kendall to talk South Carolina football as we continue SEC previews, so stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day returns to the Lee Company studio after these fine messages.
Priority in Afghanistan. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Pentagon leaders hold a briefing as thousands of Americans and Afghans try to leave a nation now under Taliban rule. Fox's Gernal Scott has this live.
Lisa, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin says now the priority remains keeping Kabul's airport secure, getting people safely out, and the pace at which that happens.
We've flown out several thousand since the 15th of August, and our goal is to be able to increase our capacity every day going forward.
Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley addressed the intel aspect. He said he thought a Taliban takeover could take weeks, months, even years, but he and others saw nothing.
It indicated a collapse of this army and this government in 11 days.
Secretary Austin says talks remain open, and so far there have been no hostile interactions, Lisa.
Thanks, Gernal. President Biden just holding a COVID briefing and announcing what amounts to a vaccine mandate for nursing homes. Staff will have to get a COVID shot in order to keep receiving federal funding as part of Medicare and Medicaid. This as federal health officials recommend booster shots for the rest of us, though not quite yet, pending an FDA review of that plan.
Vaccine-induced protection against SARS-CoV-2 infection begins to decrease over time.
CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says based on the new data, they'll recommend a third dose of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine 8 months after a second dose beginning next month. A possible booster for the single-shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine is still being studied. The president, meantime, also says school kids need to wear masks and that Americans fighting it are wrong. About 30 people unaccounted for in North Carolina in flooding from what's now Tropical Depression Fred bearing down on upstate New New York after it swept through parts of the South. Meantime, Grace is now a strengthening hurricane heading for Mexico. America is listening to Fox News.
Support your heart health with delicious Super Beets Heart Chews, an essential part of my daily routine. And now you can get a free bag of vitamin D3 chews and a free bag of Super Beets Heart Chews when you buy 2 bags of Super Beets Heart Chews at superbeets.com/Fox. That's right. When you purchase 2 bags of Super Beets Heart Chews, they'll throw in a 3rd bag free, plus a free bag of vitamin D3 chews. Hurry to superbeets.com/Fox. superbeets.com/Fox.
Hospitals in Haiti are overwhelmed with thousands of people injured in Saturday's earthquake, which killed over 1,900. Fox's Brian Yennis is in Lacaille.
4 days after the earthquake, they are still flying in critically injured people from the most affected areas. The U.S. Coast Guard doing 72 missions at least since Sunday, helping at least 100 victims, flying them to hospitals in the capital that are already over capacity. This morning, we saw them rushing children that suffered traumatic injuries from these areas, from the helicopters into the ambulances at this airport. We rode on a U.S. Coast Guard helicopter and landed at a hospital outside of Lacaille. Patients are being treated outside. Hospitals are in need of more supplies, saline, antibiotics, bandages, and IV fluid.
Some of the injured at risk for deadly infections, many still waiting outside in the heat for treatment. The Pope lends his voice to a vaccination plea.
In a video shared to Twitter, Pope Francis calls getting vaccinated against the coronavirus an act of love and a simple way of promoting the common good and caring for each other, especially the most vulnerable.
Si están disponibles para todos y si colaboramos unos con otros.
Explaining vaccines grant us the hope of ending the pandemic, but only if they are available to all and if we work together. The Pope's message, part of an ad campaign launched by nonprofit the Ad Council and Public Health Coalition COVID Collaborative to curb vaccine hesitancy. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
Meantime, the World Health Organization repeating its concern about booster shot plans, saying the focus should be on more first doses in poorer countries to help prevent the emergence of new variants. Garth Brooks canceling the rest of his world tour for this year just a month after starting it back up again. He says at the time he thought the pandemic was falling behind us, but now realizes we're still in the fight. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
You know, it's hard to make sure you're getting all the nutrients you need throughout your day. That's why Super Beets Heart Chews are an essential part of my daily routine. Super Beets Heart Chews combine non-GMO beets with a special ingredient, grapeseed extract, that's unique to Super Beets Heart Chews. The grapeseed extract used in Super Beets Heart Chews has been clinically shown to be 2 times as effective at supporting normal blood pressure as a healthy lifestyle alone. And just 2 delicious chews a day gives the blood pressure support you need and the energy you want. Support your heart health with delicious Super Beets Heart Chews. And now you can get a free bag of vitamin D3 chews and a free bag of Super Beets Heart Chews when you buy 2 bags of Super Beets Heart Chews at superbeets.com/Fox. That's right. When you purchase 2 bags of Super Beets Heart Chews, they'll throw in a 3rd bag for free, plus a free bag of vitamin D3 chews. Hurry to superbeets.com/Fox. superbeets.com/Fox.
Progressive Motorcycle presents
Road Wisdom from the Motorhome. The road is everything you want it to be. As long as what you want is road.
Progressive Motorcycle also presents basic policy starting at $79 a year. Progressive Motorcycle, for those who were born to ride. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy is not available in all states.
Roofing isn't something you think about until you need it. When you do, let Roof Systems Inc. be your first call. Roof Systems Inc. is locally owned and has been providing excellent service since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes or installing new roofs for large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Why choose Roof Systems Inc.? Well, in our customers' words, best experience I've had with construction-related business. Honest, professional, friendly, and affordable. Call today, 931-398-5977. That's 931-398-5977. to pros and everything in between. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company Studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yow.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Glad to have you guys with us here on this Wednesday edition of the show. If you're listening in WKOM 1017 listening area, be very weather aware as there is a strong thunderstorm coming through this area. If you're listening on WZYX, well, I don't know how you're getting us because we're not on down there right now, or at least we're not supposed to be. So, whatever. I forgot to tell them farewell on Wednesday. It's sad. Oh, well. They'll catch us on the podcast. So if you're listening on the podcast, we appreciate you guys, obviously, and thank you so much for supporting Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today and our efforts to continue keeping you with the most timely and comprehensive sports coverage in Southern Middle Tennessee. And with that, it's probably important to note that Montgomery Central is now looking for a Week 1 opponent, as it appears Sycamore has COVID issues. That is coming from Donovan Stewart, who helps out over at Main Street Preps. Again, mainstreetpreps.com, the best way to find the most timely and comprehensive high school sports coverage in all of Middle Tennessee. As we continue our coverage of college football, previewing each and every team from around the Southeastern Conference, today we talk to our South Carolina expert, Josh Kendall of The Athletic. And no, this could not have been timed any better, Mo. You nailed it.
It really couldn't have. Yeah. The news coming out of Columbia, South Carolina, yesterday about a graduate assistant possibly getting the keys to the offense over there was really, really intriguing. Josh, what light can you shine on Zeb Noland and the QB situation for Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks?
Well, Shane Beamer made a point to come in unplanned and unsolicited to the media room yesterday to talk to us and to explain essentially that this was not a reflection on South Carolina's quarterback room, which is minus Luke Doty at the moment. That they felt completely comfortable with the guys who were left after Doty's injury, but they just needed numbers, and they had thought about bringing Zeb on for a while now, bringing Zeb from the GA role to a player for a while now. Given the timing, that Luke Doty is out indefinitely, although they're still holding out some hope publicly that he would be back for the first game, it's hard not to read it as a little bit of concern about where they are at the quarterback position. First-team reps right now are going to a kid named Jason Brown, who was a Division II player most recently. That being in 2019, he was an All-Northeast Conference good player at St. Francis in Pennsylvania. They didn't play a 2020 fall or spring season due to COVID. He went from 220 to 245. He's back down to 220, but feels like he's the player he was. Teammates like him. Coaches say good things about him. If he's the starter on September 4th, they'll go in confidence that he can get them to a win over Eastern Illinois. But I don't think there's any question that, they're looking for quarterbacks.
And this is a passing game that had just 8 passing touchdowns last fall. So it's not like they were in a good position and it just, got worse. They were in a bad position and it got worse.
Bad position and it got worse, and only, they had to bring in the kid from St. Francis to get to 3 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster. That's including Doty. So when you've got Doty unavailable, you're down to 2 scholarship quarterbacks, one of whom is transfer from Division II, one of whom is a true freshman. DeCarrion Joyner, who they moved from from quarterback to wide receiver a couple of years ago, has gone back to taking a few snaps at quarterback. They say really good things about their walk-on kid named Connor Jordan. Been in the program for a while. He's got all the measurables. But, I mean, yeah, the passing game situation in Columbia was bad, was a question mark before Luke Doty got hurt.
You know, Josh, I've been to Williams-Brice Stadium, and I can't imagine Jason Brown having played anywhere that resembles that coming from St. Francis on game day.
Oh, no, I can't imagine. Williams-Brice, Lord willing, will be completely full. I don't know that we have pinned it down, although that's a good idea, as to what's the biggest crowd he's ever played in front of. You wouldn't think it would be. I bet it's not. More
it wasn't 70,000.
It was. I mean, it couldn't have. I don't think it could have been 2,500. So now you're looking at 8,250. So 80,000 more. They had a pretty good crowd for the spring game. Some crowd for the spring game, and he performed pretty well. So he rose to the occasion right then. But you're right. I mean, I guess stepping out in Williams-Brice would be quite a culture shock.
I guess at least they would be cheering for him, but still, I mean, that it could turn pretty quick as well.
He played in front of 22,422 at James Madison in week 2. If he played in 2019 at St. Francis.
Okay, well there we go.
There you go.
The biggest crowd at home did not, in fact, reach 2,500.
Yeah.
Okay. So James Madison probably a comparable opponent to Eastern Illinois.
Yes. So, well, they're a lot better than Eastern Illinois is, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah.
Meanwhile, getting back to Zeb, a 24-year-old who first played collegiately in 2016. I mean, are they calling him Grandpa in the QB room or what?
Well, it was interesting to the split between the players who knew his background before he was a teammate and the players who didn't. I mean, some of them had no idea this guy was a quarterback. They just said, hey, this guy who was a graduate assistant working with the wide receivers is now one of our quarterbacks. And, oh, by the way, here's some highlights. I mean, they showed highlights of Zeb as the Iowa State quarterback when he threw for 360 against number 5 Oklahoma in 2018 to the whole team. This was almost like a see this guy can really play moment for the team to kind of get everybody on board with him. But he is, Shane Beamer pointed out, he has played in more Division I football games than every quarterback on their roster combined, and it's not close.
So there you go. And the fact that he was stuck behind Trey Lance at North Dakota State, and all Trey Lance did was get drafted, third, fourth overall in the last NFL draft? Yeah.
There's no shame in that.
So, interesting. I mean, it's just an intriguing situation all the way around from the 30,000-foot view of it. You being right up on it, I imagine it's got to be even more intriguing. And I like this tweet from Mike Uva on Beamer adding Zeb Nolan to the QB depth chart. It's not like I went to 5 Point and found a QB. I told the QBs if he competes and deserves to play, then he will. So,
this isn't Vince Papale or anything. I mean, coming out of this is a guy who's been there and done that. So it is, I know. Anyway. Yeah, I mean,
you almost wonder why they recruited him as a graduate assistant instead of an actual quarterback.
Like, dude, come play.
Yeah. How do you go from being a GA to getting yourself ready to play? I mean, you talked about the one kid getting back down from 245 to 220. I mean, if you're a GA, it's not like you're thinking, hey, I got to get ready.
Well, at my age, every 24-year-old looks like they're in pretty good shape and pretty good health, and Zeb does too. I mean, he looks like he's a fit kid. I mean, it's not like he's gone straight to the couch, but he will have to get some conditioning back. There's no question. Beamer said, I guess Tuesday morning, Zeb was in there working out at 6 a.m. when Beamer got there. So he knows, I think, that he's got to get his body back in football shape quick.
Yeah. This is a South Carolina team that went 2-8 last year. We already told you that they threw just 8 passing touchdowns on offense. They do have Marshawn Lloyd, a freshman running back, coming in that a lot of people are high on. But I want to talk about the defense real quick. not being able to stop the run is not a recipe for success in the Southeastern Conference.
No, they feel good about their defensive line, too deep. That defensive line will be, I'm not saying it's going to be the best in the SEC, but they'll be able to hold it up, favorably against most teams in the SEC. It's the back seven where they're going to have some trouble. Linebacker is still unsettled. Secondary is probably settled, but you've got, right now there's another Division II transfer who is the starter, a kid named Carlin Patel, who's probably going to be the starting nickelback. He played at Assumption last year. So make of that what you will. They're going to, their big concern is defensive back, but they've got to shore up linebacker. They like defensive coordinator Clayton White's new system. They say they feel very comfortable in it. But, there's no shortage of question marks right now for the Gamecocks.
And I would think the head coach is one of those.
Oh, yeah, there's no question. I mean, coming in with no head coaching or coordinator experience, he has hit every right note since being hired in December. The off-season stuff, getting the fans on board, really getting his team to buy into everything that they're doing and saying there's a real kind of bounce in the step for the players around here that hadn't been here in a while. That's all good. But, yeah, then you transition to the actual season. Now he's still got to prove that he can, you can get 120 guys out there and get 11 guys out there, the right 11 guys out there at the right time, and just the mechanics of running a football game. This is all new to this staff.
We talk about it all the time.
Decisions. I mean, suggestions to decisions? Yeah. Now I would think him coming from the background that he comes from. I mean, his dad was Frank Beamer, who some of our listeners are familiar with as former football coach at Murray State before he got to Virginia Tech. But, I mean, he comes from good stock as far as that goes, but still, your daddy can't help you now. So that's
comes from good stock, been an associate head coach at a bunch of places, was the interim head coach at Virginia Tech for a bowl game. So he's been through the process. I mean, all of that's very helpful. But you're right. Now it's a different animal when you're the guy.
That's exactly right. Josh Kendall of The Athletic covers South Carolina and talking with us here on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day. Josh, thanks so much for your time and taking some with us today to talk about the Gamecocks. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. Again, Josh Kendall of The Athletic. That's, when you mentioned Zeb Nolan yesterday, I didn't know who he was. I mean, I didn't realize, what he had. I'm on the side of the team that would have been like, oh, okay, oh, you can play. My bad, bro. I didn't know.
You better act somebody.
Right?
Yeah.
Clearly. NFL on the other side of the break. We'll talk about the Titans. We'll talk about Deshaun Watson. And interesting stuff. So stick around. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Right back after this.
According to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So, 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free, but you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Nielsen says more than 30 million Americans watch Newsmax. It's the 4th highest rated cable news channel, and it's available on all major cable systems, or find it on smart TVs like Samsung, LG, and more. And it's free on Roku, Xumo, Pluto, Amazon Fire, and TiVo. Or download the Newsmax app on your smartphone. Watch it anytime, anywhere. Forbes described Newsmax as a news powerhouse. Millions of Americans are watching Newsmax. You should too. Tune in today.
Hi, I'm Robert Rogers at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
And I'm Michael Parks Lawrence at Parks Motor Sales Buick GMC.
Together, we're Mr. Bobby Parks' grandsons, and we run his dealership, and we are glad to be part of our local community.
Being family-owned and operated, we invest heavily in our community.
We do things like sports teams, schools, bands, you name it. We try to help everybody we can.
The reason why we do this is because we all love this community.
So come do business with us, your neighbors, at Parks Motor Sales in Columbia, Tennessee, right off Nashville Highway, or at parksmotorsales.com.
Are you thinking about a new fence? Maybe you need a pole barn. Then you should give Sands Fence Company a call. That's 931-309-1644. Will Sands has built his business based on the principles of honesty, quality, and integrity. Sands Fence Company has been in business for over 20 years, providing the community with farm, residential, and commercial fencing, as well as pole barns and buildings. Call today for a free estimate. Sands Fence Company, 931-309-1644. 931-309-1644.
Hi, I'm Steve, the garbage man. By now you all know about Don, our service truck guy. Well, let me tell you about another member of our service team, and that's Mike Ashley. He's the guy you'll talk to when you call the office. Just call and talk to Mike one time at 931-540-0919, and you'll see why we're lucky to have him here at the Garbage Man. Thanks, Mike, for all you do to keep the Garbage Man first in service. That's 931-540-0919.
Why do people trust Tillis Jewelry with their jewelry repairs?
Hi, this is Terry Tillis. We feel each piece of jewelry is important to our customers, and they deserve the utmost care with every item that is brought to us. Your jewelry is inspected when we receive it to determine exactly what repairs are needed. A photo is taken and documented, and then it goes to our goldsmith. Once the repair is completed, the jewelry is re-inspected to make sure it has been restored to its original condition.
Come see us at Tillis Jewelry, located in Columbia and Lewisburg.
American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter, like the stair that only creaks when everyone else in the house is asleep. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Call Davis Heating and Cooling at 931-388-2090 for all your home comfort needs. Davis Heating and Cooling is your local American Standard dealer and proudly serves the Murray County area. Find Davis Heating and Cooling online and on Facebook or call today, 388-2090.
For 40 years, Beck Dental Care has been the personalized and comfortable option for the health of your smile. The caring staff maintains a high level of safety protocols and attention to detail. Advanced technology provides your choice of sedation and the best of dental implant solutions to restore complete oral health. Open until 7 p.m. 2 nights a week. 931-388-8452. Beck Dental Care in Columbia, 1603 Rosewood Drive.
To the two-tone blue, covering the teams you care about. It's only on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Coming to you live from the Lee Company studio, WKOM 1017 FM, Front Porch Sports. If you're listening on Twitter or on the podcast or on Facebook or on sm-tnsports.com, you can still watch the video there. We've had about 400 or 500 views a day over the last week and a half.
And we appreciate
it. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. Talking a little bit about the NFL here, mainstreet-nashville.com and TitansInsider.com covers the Titans, obviously. And Terry McCormick has a quote from Ryan Tannehill that you're going to love, Mo.
That I'm going to love?
Yeah. Here's the good thing. We got two sentences this time. Guys competed. It was a good day overall, Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill said. That's guys competed, and people came.
People came.
People came and guys competed. So
Guys came and people competed.
There's that too.
Oh, good Lord.
So
that's it?
No, there's no,
Oh, okay,
no, no.
okay.
There's an entire.
Oh,
it's a
okay, cool.
really good quote after that. It's just funny that
that was the lead quote.
Yeah, well, I mean, just because
Yeah.
the situation that we found ourselves
Right,
in there.
right.
Titans, their first of 2 days, joint practices with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Some really good stuff from the defensive side of the ball, according to just about everyone on Twitter. There was a deep pass down the sideline that Janoris Jackrabbit Jenkins was in good coverage along with Amani Hooker. So
You know that Janoris Jackrabbit Jenkins prefers that
Jackrabbit.
that Janoris not be mentioned.
Oh,
I think
that's-
he's even listed on the roster
He
at
is.
this point as Jackrabbit Jenkins.
and that is something, right? I mean, that's
His mama called him Janoris. I'm gonna call him Janoris.
Who's his agent? Coach Prime?
doo-dum, come on. You didn't even give your own self the
hi-hat.
Come on, man. Could have done it. Yeah, you know, we didn't mention this earlier, but we can kind of get into that here. This is a good segue to talk about what's his name?
Oh, yeah. What is his name? Kool-Aid.
His name on Wikipedia, his Wikipedia page is Kool-Aid McKinstry. His RollTide.com roster entry is Kool-Aid McKinstry.
What is his Alabama roster name?
That is it. On the Alabama roster, on the football
he
roster,
is
his
Kool-
name is Kool-Aid McKinstry. So I guess you can pick your name. I don't see why you got to go with the name your mama gave you.
What flavor?
It's got to be red.
Gotta be red, right?
Yeah.
Got to be red.
Guys, that's not a flavor. Red is not a flavor, but it is when you're talking about Kool-Aid. What kind of Powerade you want? If you tell me what flavor Powerade you want, you are a serial killer. There's no question. If you know the flavor of Powerade or Kool-Aid that you want, like if you tell me you want tropical wild berry or what the crap ever,
Yeah.
Blue, purple, orange.
I want just tell me what color you want, and if I get the wrong flavor of that color, too bad. You should like all the flavors in that color.
His name is JaQuincy.
JaQuincy.
G-A
apostrophe Quincy.
Q-U-I-N-C-Y. JaQuincy McKinstry.
That's why he goes by Kool-Aid.
I'd go by Kool-Aid too.
Or G like Callan from NCIS Los Angeles. just G.
G.
I mean, so Kool-Aid McKinstry has signed an NIL with Kool-Aid.
And that's for the win right there.
I mean
that's I moved that the nomination cease.
First
Right
of
there.
all, good on Kool-Aid the company. Now we have to make that distinction. Good on Kool-Aid the company
To
for not
sign
just
Kool-Aid the player.
well, just for not just taking the free advertising, for paying him for it, because they were going to get the advertising either way.
Oh yeah.
And so, good on Kool-Aid the company for saying, you know what, we're going to get this, we're going to give you something because people are going to know you by our brand name. And I think that also there's probably some contractual obligations in there that, probably some morals clauses and that sort of thing that says, hey, if you're going to call yourself that, and we're not going to sue you for calling yourself that.
There's some things you got to live up to.
You gotta have some kind of standard.
Meanwhile,
Oh,
this graphic is on his Twitter account now.
Oh,
I was just about to say this guy's got to be a linebacker, right? But he's
Defensive back.
he's a defensive back. Okay.
And
Yeah.
let me tell you,
You were going right where I was going with that.
Here's the thing. he's not just a football player. He's playing basketball at Alabama too.
Is he?
He is playing both football and basketball at Alabama, which is weird because Alabama plays football until about the second week of January every year.
Yeah.
Although the last year or so, basketball's ramped up.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
Basketball is ramped up.
But you're talking about football through.
Well, it's going to be a while before he gets to.
That's what you're saying.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I've ever seen. I mean, baseball and football happens a lot because they don't overlap season-wise, but football and basketball overlap quite a bit. So I'm just interested to see how that dynamic's going to work. But he is a heck of a basketball player. Was an ESPN Top 100 player.
I'm a little shocked that Nick is allowing that.
You know, let me just tell you. Nick Saban will promise you the moon.
Well, I didn't say. I said I'm a little surprised he's allowing it because a lot of coaches will promise you a lot of things.
Well, you're saying allowing as if he has allowed it, and at this point, he is allowing it. But
August.
But let's be honest. We know for a fact that Nick Saban is going to put him through an intense mental and physical workout every single day of football practice, and is he really going to have the capability?
Well, he can allow it because he's going to get 100% football. I mean, he's not leaving football until
Exactly.
it's over.
That's
so
what I'm saying.
basketball's getting the short end. That's why Nick can allow it.
And is football ever over in Alabama?
I mean,
No.
by the time you're done playing
your season,
your college football playoff championship game,
Mm-hmm.
It's
You're halfway
spring.
through the
You're
conference season almost.
Well, not only that, but it's time to go into
spring.
off-season workouts, and as upset as Nick Saban gets about having to play in the national championship game because it's cutting into his recruiting.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the amount of time that playing a championship season cuts into players' preparation for the next year. So.
Anyway, that was something completely random that I just, because we got off on that Janoris Jenkins Jackrabbit.
But as long as we are off the rails already, did you see the tweet yesterday? Somebody tweeted something about Oregon's 100 uniform combinations or something, and somebody asked Saban about it, and he's like, we got red at home and white on the road. We're more concerned about who's in those uniforms.
Yeah, I didn't see that tweet and I didn't see that quote, but here it is from Red Oviat.
Yeah.
Rob Oviat. Yeah. We have two red jerseys at home, white jerseys away. Our main concern around here is who's wearing them, and that's great. But can I at least lobby for the white hats on the road, because the white helmets, they're so clean, and I love it. I'm,
which is why it'll never happen.
Well, the reason it won't ever happen is because the last person that did it was Ray Perkins, and we all know how that ended. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to follow the guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, Alabama is what they are, and they're going to the uniforms aren't going to change, so quit asking.
There you go.
Let's talk a little bit real quick. We've got a few minutes as we've completely blown the Titans portion of this segment, but we also didn't have a whole lot to talk about.
Really
just that
didn't.
they practiced with the Bucs. They're going to play them in a couple days in preseason.
Who was it that had the interception though during the
Caleb Farley? Off of Gronk double bobbled the ball, and Farley went and got it out of the air. So,
I'm just pleased to know that Caleb Farley is going through
these workouts.
Yes, because with what, 2 back surgeries?
Yep, 100%.
Prior to his being drafted, I wasn't sure he was going to get on the field this year, and so I think that's a good thing for a unit that needed reinforcements on the back end.
Jawan Jennings has made the next round.
With 49ers?
For the 49ers.
That's awesome.
I was watching, I don't know why it came up today, but college football on ESPN on Facebook had the video of Tennessee, Georgia, and it just reminds me like, man, that kid was so good. Let's talk a little bit about Deshaun Watson, because apparently the FBI is now involved in this situation, and his attorney, Rusty Hardin, is fantastic, apparently.
Again, Rusty Hardin represented Roger Clemens when he had his legal issues going on toward the end of his MLB career. Rusty Hardin is one of the top defense attorneys, certainly in Houston and possibly in the country. So
Deshaun is interviewed by the FBI at their request, but also he doesn't have to talk to them unless he's under arrest. He doesn't have to talk to them. I mean, you've all seen it. Is my client under arrest? And we're out of here. And so Hardin basically says they came to us, and I'm paraphrasing here, and we talked to them. He said, if you find me another lawyer that will let their client talk to the FBI if they think they had anything to do with what they're being accused of, I'd be surprised. So essentially he's saying, look, we're cooperating here. We have nothing to hide because, again, one, the burden of proof is obviously it's lower in the civil case, but it's still on the accusers. The accusers. And Deshaun is basically saying, look, it was all consensual. Now, again, it all depends on how you look at it, how you're paying for it. And for the massage, what are you paying for? Is there any implication that...
I will say this. It looks awful.
It doesn't look great. 22? There's 23 complaints and 22 of them are going to civil court.
Well, I mean, you're Deshaun Watson. Why do you not just have a masseuse on retainer, on call, 24/7?
Do you want me to answer that? Because he had 22 willing to sleep with him, according to him.
And that's fine.
Until now.
Until they're not. So
it's tough. And that's the situation that you find yourself in is, I mean, one, Deshaun Watson probably wasn't going to play this year either way. And the only reason he came to camp is because he knew they weren't going to let him get any reps in, and he could show up, not have to do anything, and not get fined. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
There you go.
I mean, that's the true story, though. Anyway, that's tough. But Deshaun Watson, FBI's involved. Take that as you will. It's Wild and Wacky Wednesday, and that's not really wild or wacky. But the next stuff that we talk about certainly will be wild and wacky. So stick around on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We will come back to the Lee Company studio, tell you the weirdest and wildest news from across the world right after this.
One-stop shopping. That's why so many people shop Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Fiat of Columbia. As the #1 volume CDJR dealer in Tennessee, we offer the largest selection of new Ram, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler vehicles. And when you have the largest selection of new, you have the largest selection of used, too. Combine that with state-of-the-art, fast, accurate service, and you've got Tennessee's #1 volume dealer. Shop online at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram of Columbia.net. Middle Tennessee's Ram Truck and Jeep headquarters. You can count on us. Based on combined retail and fleet sales as awarded by Chrysler in the state of Tennessee in 2019.
Hello, I'm Barbara Barbara Lincoln with Hollins Pharmacy. You may have heard our previous commercials about compression hosiery that we carry at Hollins Pharmacy. Well, we've recently expanded into a full line of knee braces, back, wrist, ankle, and other support wear. We will gladly help you get just the right fit for these items and, of course, special order items to ensure the proper fit. Come see us at Hollins Pharmacy, 1608 Hatcher Lane, or call us at 931-388-4233. 388-4233.
If you come to Arby's from 2 to 5 p.m., you can get sliders for $1. For another $1, you can get a small drink or fries or snack shake. And for the low price of another $1, you can round out this afternoon snack with warm cookies. It's really a meal at this point, but call it a snack. That way, you can come back for dinner. Arby's, we have the meat.
Dollar price valid for small fries and drinks, snack shakes, and classic sliders. Available at participating locations for a limited time.
Hey folks, this is Chandler Anderson from the Right Care Clinic located in front of Walmart. We've been open 11 years there now, and 11 seems to be our magic number. We open at 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and we're open 7 days a week to make sure that you get the right care you need. Come on by and see Caitlin, Kim, and Robert, and they'll get you the right care. Remember, we were there for you during COVID. We never shut our doors. Right Care Walk-In Clinic located in front of Walmart, open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day of the week. Remember, folks, we stay late so you don't wait.
Serving Murray County for 40 years, the Jewelers Bench has provided the highest quality jewelry at the very best prices. They work hard to make their customers happy, and it's paid off. Their customers keep going back. Quality jewelry, custom vintage and estate pieces, and professional jewelry and watch repairs. We offer jewelry loans up to $4,500, and we will buy your gold. The Jewelers Bench, still here, still the same. 808 Trotwood Avenue, Columbia.
Terrence here at Shepherd Lumberyard, where we value you, the customer. We've been serving Columbia and surrounding areas since 1946. We're located in our new location at 103 Cemetery Avenue. Anything that has to do with building or remodeling, we're here to assist. When you shop local, you help shape the community. We are locally owned, family owned, and veteran owned. And by the way, God is in charge. You can reach us at 931-388-3612, and our website is shepherdlumberyard@yahoo.com.
Hey, this is Derek Ransom with 10 Pin Alley, voted #1 family entertainment center in Murray County. We offer 32 bowling lanes, giant arcade, laser tag, bumper cars, and a full cafe and bar menu. We also specialize in group events, kids and adult birthday parties, company parties, sports team parties, and holiday parties. We're located at 322 East James Campbell Boulevard in Columbia. Call us today at 931-381-BOWL or visit us at 10pin.com. 10 Pin Alley, it's where the good times roll.
At CSH, we know the sport of football builds discipline, character, and work ethic, 3 common characteristics of winners. It's a sport where we drowns out me. Leadership is nurtured, and that's why CSH supports all Murray County football teams, and want to say a special thanks and good luck to every player, coach, volunteer, and parent of this year's teams, from youth programs, middle schools, and high schools. We know football builds men that make a difference. Let's go.
It's Wild and Wacky Wednesday on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today with the 2 zaniest guys this side of the Duck River. It's like you joined a circus or something. Here's Chris and Mo.
Welcome back into Southern Middle Tennessee Sports. Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint here in the Lee Company studio. You know, last week after the Field of Dreams game, most watched baseball game of the last 16 years or something.
I saw somebody tweet it. This is what happens when you treat a baseball game like a football game. And the lead up to it, the pregame, I don't know, PR or whatever, was like your average football game, and so I think you saw the benefit of that. So, but anyway,
that is the downside of 162.
Yeah, it's tough to treat them all like that.
You can't. It's just not possible. I think the Field of Dreams game is going to end up being annual, and it's going to be a less cool Rick Wood Classic, in my opinion. Same type thing where they all wear the throwback uniforms and that sort of thing.
Maybe Rick Wood would be next. Hopefully Rick Wood would be next.
I would love to see them play.
And the Braves and Rangers.
White Sox
or
specifically, considering
the Birmingham.
AA affiliate.
Yeah.
So anyway, video sales of the DVD Field of Dreams exploded last week. So there's that.
Yeah, introduced it to a whole new generation, I guess.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Well done for Kevin Costner. Going to get a little extra cash out of that, I'm sure. All right, let's get into Wild and Wacky Wednesday. As you know, we got to start with dumb criminals. You got to feel for the cops here, and anyone who knows me. Anyway, because they had to wrestle a guy to the ground and then be in a car with him. 37-year-old Michael Ring was out causing trouble in Madison, Wisconsin Monday night. Witnesses say he was out of control, high on drugs, had a knife, and was a pretty serious situation. And so the cops show up and he runs and hides. Because if you can't run, hide. So he hides, and he did get away for a minute, but they found him nearby. And when they found him, they got a whiff of something awful. Yep. He was sprayed by a skunk.
Oh.
Good thing is it certainly masked the other smell. He resisted arrest, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not sure I would have tried to have arrested him.
What was he? What had he allegedly done?
Disorderly conduct while armed. He had a knife, and he was acting crazy, I guess.
I'm not getting skunk spray all over me for that. No.
Nope.
Go on, bro.
Nope. We're going to take your knife, but you take off.
Yeah,
you do
go.
your thing.
Yeah.
So
we'll take your knife. You go find you some tomato juice, and we'll call it even.
That's what they say. They say tomato.
I mean, I think that was probably more of a punishment for him than anything that they could do anyway.
The poor other inmates. Football 2 League. And I'm pretty sure that's where Jason Brown, former Independence Community College coach, played his AF2 ball, was for the Stockton Lightning.
I'm sure they're proud of that.
Oh, man. I just got a text from Terry Wilcox.
Oops.
Yep. We'll get you to Friday. We'll get you Friday this week. That it doesn't say. I assume it's a bicycle.
Yeah.
So he used a lighter to set a fire next to one of the walls. The entire place didn't burn down, but it did cause some damage, and it looks like there's also water damage from the fire department putting it out. No one was seriously hurt. The family that owns the restaurant had to shut it down while they did repairs, so a bunch of their employees are out of work right now. They say they've made it through the pandemic, so they'll make it through this too. Last we heard, cops were still trying to track the guy down.
Look for a bicycle.
Yeah, he's wearing a Punisher shirt in the picture that they showed of him. So I don't.
That's petty.
Do you guys tip if you're picking it up to go?
I don't.
JP, are you a to-go tipper?
I do, but I worked in the service industry for a long time, bartended, waited tables, and so.
How much do you tip?
Less than when I'm in the restaurant. You know, I mean, for to go, much less than what it would be a server, but I give them something.
So like last night, I think I tipped like $3 on a $30 tab, something like that. Because I mean,
On to go.
Yeah.
You're talking about, okay.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
10% or so.
Otherwise, you're about to get hate mail for a 10% tip.
No, yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's not bad, right?
Yeah, a little change on the to go.
So
Well, they're not necessarily working for tips
66
at that spot.
67% of people in the United States polled said that they do leave a tip or they just don't order takeout. So the most popular answer to tip is 10 to 15%. So
On takeout.
On takeout.
For takeout?
If you're going to tip, that's the number. I just thought that was interesting. That's not really wild and wacky. I just was curious if you guys did that. A bank robber in England handed a note to a teller, but his handwriting was so bad the person didn't realize it was a robbery. You rarely hear about doctors robbing banks, and now we know why. The handwriting is too bad to write. This is a holdup. That and they usually have a more reliable source of income. But 67-year-old man in England named Alan Slattery, which is definitely an English surname, Slattery.
Slattery.
Actually, I
Slattery.
worked with a lady named Slattery back at my first full-time position. She was a classified ads lady.
Interesting. Well, Alan, perhaps there's a relation, perhaps not. He got into the bank robbing business back in March, and his first stop was a bust. He handed over a note to the teller, but they couldn't read his poor handwriting, so he left empty-handed. The employees later huddled together and figured it out. It said, quote, "Your screen won't stop what I've got. Just hand over the 10s and the 20s. Think about the other customers." We've got a photo of it here, and honestly, it's not that difficult to read. I think it's not that difficult at all. I mean, I guess because I know what it says, I could see it, but it's not that bad. It's unclear if the screen was a permanent anti-theft fixture or the temporary anti-COVID divider. Alan wrote a legible note at bank number 2 and got away with around $3,000.
Learned his lesson.
Yeah, he hit up a third bank, but the teller there refused to comply. The police caught him. He was arrested. He pleaded guilty on robbery and attempted robbery charges. He'll do 4 years behind bars.
Then he didn't go home when he had the chance. Learned the lesson from the first one. Know when to walk away.
You got to know when to hold them.
Know when to hold them.
And
know when to fold them.
That is the key, folks. That is the key. Okay, JP. I sent Mo this because it was probably one of the more interesting things I've ever seen. Stoplight. Guy behind car number 2, behind car number 1, who was stopped at the stoplight, gets out of his car, gets the other guy out of the car, and they start exchanging blows.
Okay.
I mean, they're just going at it. While they're at the red light, they're just, just absolutely pummeling each other.
All right.
The light gets ready to turn green. They stop, shake hands, and he goes back to his car and they drive away.
Was somebody filming this?
Yes.
Okay.
Set up, right?
Yeah.
But that's amazing that
Yeah.
you could get away with that and nobody tried to stop them.
Well.
Sorry, the Reese's Take 5.
Yeah.
Every time we have to see that on this show.
Yeah.
Here's another road rage incident, though, that this is how I got into that. I saw this guy's mugshot, and he looks like he took a pretty decent beating, but he definitely didn't get the worst of it. 35-year-old Kyle Clark was driving in Chicago and side-swapped another car, but he didn't pull over at first. The other driver happened to be an off-duty cop who had a buddy in the car with him, so they pulled up next to Kyle and started yelling at him to stop, and he finally did. As soon as they stepped out of their cars, Kyle starts throwing punches. He hit the off-duty cop twice in the face, and the cop's buddy joined in to help.
Okay.
He's the one who got the worst of it because Kyle then latched on to a portion of his chest and bit it off.
Whoa.
OFF off.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, like, that one's tough.
That hurts.
Yeah. Once the fight was over, the friend who lost the
piece of their
Parts of his chest.
got stitches at a nearby hospital to close the wound. We don't know if they were able to sew it back on, though.
Wow.
Kyle is facing charges for leaving the scene of an accident, aggravated battery causing great bodily harm, and aggravated battery of a peace officer because the off-duty cop did identify himself as police.
Great bodily harm, as opposed to just bodily harm.
Well, that's definitely great bodily harm. I mean,
there's no question. Is that a degree?
I was going to say, so there's
I'm sure
causing bodily harm.
There are levels of bodily harm.
Yeah,
bodily
that's
harm.
15 years rather than 7 or whatever.
I guess it is tied to sentencing.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Good call on the great bodily harm though, because there's no way I'd be so mad. Are you kidding me? No,
Wow.
thank you. All right, folks, that's going to do it for Wild and Wacky Wednesday.
Thank goodness.
His, another Seinfeld reference. His, what is it? The bro man won't fit anymore.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
Totally failed on that one, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do, and
The man's ear.
that's it.
The man's ear.
The man's ear. It does not fit anymore, and no need for it. Apparently, at least on one side, no need for it.
Nothing like car crash at the end of a show.
A car crash that ends in that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks for hanging out with us on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports today. If you missed any part of the show, the podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, just anywhere you get your podcasts. If you don't have that, we'll tweet it out and have it on sm-tnsports.com, the podcast tab, so check that out. For Maurice Patton and JP Plant, I'm Chris Yao, wishing you all a great hump day and stay cool, Columbia.